Alright, today's video is going to be kind of a quick one. We're going to go over the settings and the things that you can do inside of our NC settings screen, the NC editor for GCode. First thing you're going to have to do is make sure that you have a NC or GCode program open or active. That's going to be your active program. Then we're going to go to the input screen. We're going to go ahead and hit Part Programming. And that's going to bring us automatically into the NC editor. Here we see the program in all its glory, all the G-code. And over to the right, we have some soft keys that's going to allow us to do some different things. We click on the edit functions. We can do the things you would expect to do under there. We can cut, copy, paste, undo, and redo. However, Control-Z and Control-Shift-Z also works for undo and redo if you have a keyboard hooked up to the machine. We can enable or overwrite or insert mode. Overwrite, probably not very useful, but if I were to enable that, put a cursor before this 1 on K1 here and then type 0, it's going to override what was there. It doesn't insert it. If I go back to inserting, then it's going to insert wherever the cursor is. Probably the setting that you're going to want it set to, but if you want to change that, that's where you do it. We have a More button here that takes us to some more soft keys where I can insert a line before the cursor line, delete blocks, find and replace, so I can find some text or some G-code in the program and it'll jump to it by hitting this Find Next. Or I can do a Find and Replace where I find a specific code in the program, replace it with whatever it is that I want here, and then I can find the next one, replace all, a few things there. So I can do some very quick mass editing. If I go out to the main program, or the main menu here again, we've got jump and search functions. I can jump to the beginning of the program, I can jump to the end of the program, I can jump to specific block numbers if I know a block number, sequence numbers, or once again, I can find and replace text. Let's go back out. We have a tagged blocks. This is kind of handy. If I'm finding and there's a section of the program, let's say this particular line right here, I'm going to that line often to change a Z value, a spindle speed, tool change where I'm restarting, whatever the case may be. I go to that particular line in the program, I hit tag block, and you see that I have a little tag that gets put there. I can go put another one somewhere else in the program, even a third one, as many as I need. Now I can jump to the previous tag by hitting this soft key here. I can jump to the next one, so I'm jumping forward, or I can look at a tagged list of all the lines that have been tagged, simply double click on that, and it'll take me right to it. This is also where I can clear a specific tag or all tags. So tags are pretty handy when I'm often navigating through a program and going to the same place over and over. Start and end markers. A start marker and an end marker. Whenever the program stops and rewinds, it's going to rewind to the start marker. And if I hit cycle start, it's only going to run the section of the program until it gets to the end marker or to the M30 or end of program. So I can set a range of program or of blocks that I want to run. Maybe I'm doing some rework or something like that. I only want to run one section of the program and not the whole thing. And I don't want to have to do a recovery restart every time. This is going to reset those start and end markers back. It's going to delete them. We also have some graphic markers where we can set a graphic marker here, set an end marker, same thing. When I hit draw, it's only going to draw that particular set of, or part of the program. It won't do the entire thing. We have jump to start markers, jump to end markers, jump to a specific graphics or end. So once again, I can use this to quickly jump to these markers to clear them, add new ones or whatever. The next one is the numbering functions. For whatever reason, I may want to renumber this program. You'll notice that it already has some end numbers, but if I wanted to renumber the blocks, let's say I wanted to increase them by 5 every time and I hit OK. Jump back up here to the beginning of the program. You see that now it was going every 10 in the line. Now we're going 5, 10, 15. So we've just renumbered that. I can also then either go back to the or Control Z or go back to my undo, redo, and it'll take that back to what it was before. Now, probably the most common settings that'll be changed in here is going to be under these editor settings. If I go under here, I can change the color and appearance of many things in the program. For example, I want my errors to show up in red. I want my labels, sequence numbers and so forth, to be in purple. Maybe my G-codes will be here. The X, the Y, and the Z, what color are those in the program? If you go back and look now, all my X moves are orange, my Y's are green, and if I were to find a Z, here we go, it's in that purple. I can change that by simply going to whatever thing that I want to change, click on the color for that, and then pick any other color that I want. Some other things that are pretty handy in here is currently, if I go to a line of code, I'm on this line right here, I don't have much of an indicator. But I can go to the current line here, slide this bar all the way over. Now I have a little bit more of a visual reference where I am in the program. I can change my text size by going here to editor font, pick whatever type of font I want, pick the size of the font. Now when I go back to the program, that font is now my new size and setting. Let's go back to what we were before. And one of the other things that is in this screen that's a little unusual is this is where we enable our block skip, turn it on and turn it off. So I click it here, you see that skip off, click it on, my block skip is enabled. So this is where I would go to set that. If I have a range of blocks that I want to skip sometimes, but not all the time, I put the / on that block, this will either skip it or not. And no matter where I am in the NC editor, you're going to see down here that it is showing you that block skip is on or it's off. You're also going to see the insert or overwrite, whatever you have to happen to have here, and whether you're an ISNC or basic NC. It's a lot of information that we can find in this NC editor. One last thing I want to point out is as I highlight a G-code, for example, I'm in front of this G0, it's going to tell me right here that that's a rapid traverse. I go to a G1 and I highlight it. It's a linear interpolation. So if you come across the G-code that sometimes you may not recognize, go to the G90 here. That means we're in absolute. So you can use this NC editor to change some settings. You can search for things, edit, add things, change the appearance, and you can also find some information out by using that little commands down at the bottom, or it tells you what the commands are.